Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the NFC North phone sessions. I am your host, Russell Wayne. We are talking football 365 days a year. And this is what we do here. I don't care about baseball. I don't care about basketball. We are diehard football fans, along with one of my partners right here, my partner in crime, Main Event Mike is here today. Special guest today, right? We usually get you on the phone, but we get you live in person. This is
you like that?
Feeling good.
Last day of vacation, baby. I'm soaking it up.
Soaking it up. Are you getting everything that you need out of your vacation?
I am. I'm totally recharged. I've been reading a lot of articles. Watching some of these chumps in some of the groups take shots at the Lions, and it's so weak. And on Monday night, we were just roasting Packer, Viking, and Bear fans all night. And I just look forward to a great dawning of this Detroit Lions era that we're about to see, winning season after winning season, and we're going to be able to roast them for many days to come.
I feel great, and it's great to already know right here. I want to say hello to Anthony. He says, "Go Bears." We have Tina is in the comments. Good morning, Tina. Tina, I know she is a Lions fan. Calvin is, I believe that he's a Lions fan too. He is in the comments right here, and we have Robert. He is our Go Pack Go affiliate.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Robert. We appreciate everybody. Anybody that wants to come in and talk football in July. Come on.
Right. And even though we're Lions fans, we like to talk about all four fan bases. We do our homework on all. We welcome all opinions from all four fan bases to come in and leave a comment. So let's lead it off today with what I heard on Sirius radio this morning, Russ.
Okay.
The general manager for the Green Bay Packers, Brian the general manager for the Green Bay Packers had a press conference, and he said, "I look forward to seeing the Jets on Hard Knocks this summer." He let it slip that is going to be the team that's going to be on Hard Knocks. So Aaron Rodgers,
you like that?
On Hard Knocks with the New York Jets this season. And then Sirius XM Radio also reported that the Detroit Lions are already slated to be the featured team in 2024. Whether they make the playoffs, whatever their record is, the fans have cried out they want to see more of Dan Campbell and his staff, and they're going to run it back in 2024.
You've had enough of that shit.
Well, I mean, evidently they haven't had
enough of that shit.
Because, they want to run it back, and I thought it was all supposed to be losing franchises. Are they trying to say something? Is the script of the NFL saying that they're going to pull the Lions back down to reality, or are they really going to put a winning team onto Hard Knocks? That's an interesting take, because I thought of the SOL narrative that came out of that. Well, obviously they're going to, win 7 games next year and regress. So we're going to have to be on Hard Knocks, right?
No. I mean, it would be great if they're going to show the NFC champions on Hard Knocks. That would be outstanding. I know it might be wishful thinking, but that's how high our expectations are.
I mean,
that's a great call, Robert. It was the president of the Packers, Murphy, that said it, and not Gouda, that guy. It wasn't him. It was
guy.
Murphy, the actual president of the Packers. That's a great call, Robert. Thank you.
You just want to start calling him Gouda guy?
Guy. That Gouda guy.
The Gouda guy.
Yeah.
The Gouda guy. The one that makes the decisions in Green Bay was not the one that said that, didn't slip it out. But come on. That was a little jab right there. There you go. They let it out of the bag.
I love that the Cheeseheads have Gouda in their general manager's name.
That's got to be good.
You've had enough of that shit.
Well, no, not if you like that. Not if you like.
You like that?
Okay. We're having a conversation. In here, and we're talking about this leakage of the fact that the New York Jets are going to be on Hard Knocks this year, and then the Lions get it next year. it had to be entertainment. I think that they just said, look, this guy's that was the best Hard Knocks that we've ever had. I mean, they might just do Hard Knocks through Detroit every year just because he's so damn entertaining. Give him a 10-year deal.
Could you imagine how bland Bill Belichick would be on Hard Knocks? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I love your impression of
the Bill Belichick impression.
Yeah. Hey, Bill Belichick, what do you think about the upcoming season for the Detroit Lions?
Well, it's kind of like what.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said right there. And they knew. I mean, I wonder if he coaches like that. Do you think that his demeanor is completely different when he's out on the football field? Or do you think he walks up, the Mac Jones is like, I'm going to hold the ball over the middle? Like, do you think it's different?
Think that is his personality. I think he is like that, and he coaches in a matter-of-fact way. It's the old Teddy Roosevelt, I speak softly but carry a big stick, whatever. I think that his track record speaks for himself, and his coaching style speaks for himself. He doesn't need to be flamboyant. He doesn't need to be a rah-rah guy. He's one of the greatest to ever coach. And what has made him so great is exploiting matchups, right? Exploiting your team's weakness and attacking that weakness. That's always been Bill Belichick's calling card. And it's going to be very interesting to see Aaron Rodgers match up against him twice in the same year and what kind of adjustments I
don't know. Did we lose him?
Did you lose me? Am I here?
I think kind of you were kind of roboting.
You got the AFC East with the surging Dolphins with defensive coordinator Vic Fangio and all those offensive weapons. You've got, of course, Bill Belichick and Mac Jones trying to rebound and going to be in the mix. Aaron Rodgers on that incredible New York Jets with that defense, those young weapons they got. That's going to be super interesting to watch. And then you've got, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, maybe the best team on paper from top to bottom. So that AFC East is going to be huge. Also, the AFC North. I want you to pick a winner for me, Russ, in the AFC North. Right. We know it's not going to be the Steelers, right? They'll probably finish last. Deshaun Watson, if he returns to form, they've got an incredible, a great running game. They're going to be in the mix. Lamar Jackson now with OBJ, and of course the division favorites, the Cincinnati Bengals. So what a tight division that's going to be. I think is than the NFC North and the Lions.
Yeah, we are having some connection issues. I think I'm hearing most of the stuff that you got going on. The AFC North is going to be very, very interesting with those three teams. And I think that the NFC North is also going to be very, very interesting as it comes to like a lot of these teams being in transition. It's like the NFC is not even close to the AFC right now. When you talk about the top 10 quarterbacks, I saw a list of the top 10 quarterbacks, and there was like one NFC guy on it. Like, or I think there was two, maybe there was two NFC guys on it, but the AFC is dominating the quarterback position. I mean, you're talking like the top 5 quarterbacks on the AFC, and then Jalen Hurts, right? It's very up in the air in the NFC.
Yeah, you could go through and pick 7 quarterbacks in the AFC that I would probably take ahead of Jalen Hurts. Now, if Jalen Hurts has another year like he did last year, maybe he leapfrogs them in that order. But, I mean, the AFC is loaded, and they're going to cannibalize each other in some of these divisions, right?
Yeah, probably. Tina says, "What's up with everyone today? I hope it's not the connection issue that you're looking at right there." Rob says that Lions 2024. This will the narrative be the Lions return to playoff form, or will the narrative be how will the Lions recover from a letdown year? I think the narrative can be that the Lions take the next step and win the Super Bowl. Okay, drinking some.
I'm with you on that one, Rob. I love that. I mean, we're not afraid to say Lions Super Bowl in the same sentence this year.
Yeah. and we may look real dumb by week 2 after playing the Kansas City Chiefs and the Seattle Seahawks in the first 2 games, man. But the thing is, if the Lions were to win that game, and I know nobody really thinks, okay, here's me, I'm going to drink a little bit of this Kool-Aid, right? They go into Kansas City and they win. Is it out of the realm to say that they would be favored in every single game as long as they kept stacking those victories after that? Like they would be favored in that Seattle game and every game for the rest of the season.
No, so I mean, we've got to play Dallas on the road. I don't think there's anything we can do to be favored in that game. We're already favored in 12 out of 17 games now. If we beat Kansas City in week 1, a couple of those games where we're only underdogs by 2 points, maybe then we could become favorites in those games. Right. But there are a couple of games on the schedule that we're going to be the underdog no matter what.
Well, but doesn't the better really dictate that, right? If they go in and they beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati, I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to start putting their money on the Detroit Lions.
The Lions don't play Cincinnati this year. If you mean Kansas City?
I said Kansas City, didn't I?
You said Cincinnati.
But okay. Okay. I mean, really, you look at either one of those AFC teams, if Detroit were to play either one or beat either one of those top teams, they're going to be talked about in a completely different way. Right now, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a hope and a dream. But if they actually go out there and take out the top team on the road, that answers a lot of questions right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, put your comments in there. Tina says the Lions are going to go 14-3.
I love it.
That is incredible optimism. And for them to go 14-3, they're going to have to go in and they're going to have to beat teams like Dallas and like Kansas City on the road to make that happen.
And Baltimore.
Yeah.
In week 7.
I cannot wait for that game. I mean,
I'll tell you what, we've got some ravenous fans here on the sessions. It's the 5th of July, and we are just smoking, talking about football. Kudos to you and your viewers.
I love it. So I want to put the shout out to where the viewers are coming from. This is an NFC North talk. We're Lions homers, but feel free if you want us to change the conversation and you're watching from Bill the Packer fans page and you haven't followed Bill the Packer fan, you should go follow him because he's our resident Packer fan here in the main event. But if you have a Green Bay type comment, throw a Green Bay type question in there and we'll kick that one around too. If you're watching from Mike the Bear fan, you're a Bear fan, go follow Mike the Bear fan and put your Bear type comment in there. Or if you're Detroit Lion Villain Squad, or we appreciate the Detroit Lion News for allowing us to broadcast into all of these forums to have a platform for diehard football fans like you that look at 2 talking heads on the 5th of July, 3 weeks before training camp. Let's go. It is almost time to put on the pads. It is almost time for 2023 NFL football. If you're feeling me.
I'm not as fat as this camera angle makes me look either, by the way. I don't know why it makes me look like I'm big.
That was and then you get pulled out. No, you don't look fat.
Okay.
Big boned. There you go.
No, doctors have big bones.
Hey, I'm fat. I'm big bone.
Playoffs.
Oh gosh. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, not to change the subject here because nobody's really throwing anything into the comments. And we love the fact that you just chime in too. But if you just want to say one pride or you want to say, go big, yeah, or one of those other things, you can do that. But if you have a question and you want us to kick it around, that's cool. But I had a question right here here's the future of what I'm looking at in the immediate future of the QBs in the NFC North. And I put Justin Fields in the front because out of these QBs, he's the most experienced. And I put a question mark on the Minnesota Vikings because they still believe in 35-year-old, or I don't even know, Captain Kirk, a mid-30s quarterback. I don't know exactly how old he is. So you don't have your future in place. So we don't know what that is. So Hendon Hooker, Jordan Love, These are considered to be the future of the NFC North quarterbacks. How are you feeling about that? If you're a Packer fan, how you feel about that? You know, you out there and are you putting all your eggs into that Jordan Love basket? I mean, there's a lot of you that are. I mean, you got we get a lot of talk on this show about how Jordan Love is an upgrade from Hall of Fame QB Aaron Rodgers. If that's the way that you feel, throw that in the comments. We don't believe that. I think it's crazy for you guys to think that. He had one of the most accurate quarterbacks, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time behind center for you. And to expect and put the pressure on Jordan Love like that? I mean, are you setting yourself up for disappointment?
31 years, Russ. 31 years of consistent Pro Bowl caliber quarterback play in Green Bay. That's unbelievable. And if Jordan Love picks up the torch and runs with it like those last two guys did,
right,
it's going to be a long 10 years in the NFC North for the other teams.
So, I mean, and I love a couple of these comments right here. I love that team. I love the Lions quarterback. You know, Jared Goff is the quarterback right now. There is no question about that. But they did draft Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round, who had a 1st-round grade by all means. And if he didn't have an ACL injury, he would have probably been the 3rd or 4th quarterback taken, if not the 2nd quarterback taken. Maybe he would have went with number 1 overall. I don't know. But he had that skill set, a mobile quarterback that's big. He fits every bill, leadership, character, everything that you want in a quarterback. That is Hendon Hooker. And he has no pressure to start. He's not going to have to start. He won't start. He'll just be there carrying the clipboard. And when he's ready to go in 2024, the Lions will have a decision to make. No matter what Jared Goff does this year.
Right.
This is a business. This is a business. And if you can get 3 years out of a quarterback on a rookie contract, that gives you a lot of flexibility for the rest of your team to continue to compete. Goff can get you to the promised land. He is good enough. Is Justin Fields good enough? If you're a Bear fan and you're watching from Mike the Bear fan spot, I mean, how confident are you in Justin Fields? Robert comes in and says, we are good until I see different. I love that take. That's a great take. The Green Bay Packers have ruled the NFC North.
Right.
Show me something different. That's what they say. Show me something different before I think different.
It's just talk until then.
Yep. That is a great take right there. And I can't take that away from you as much as I want to, Robert.
Right. I think this graphic is really interesting, Russ. The future of the NFC North. By the time Hendon Hooker gets on the field, Justin Fields could be gone, right? I mean, no players on the hot seat more than Justin Fields. If he produces another 3-win season this year, are the Bears going to pick up his 5th-year option? Is he going to have to settle for a split contract the way Jordan Love did, where it's still unknown? So we're not going to sign you to the big deal. So here's a carrot to keep you going for the next couple of years. And then I love that you have a question mark over the Vikings logo, because what is this Quezzy guy doing? And if you're a Vikings fan, do you have faith in this guy? I wouldn't. His moves so far have been suspect. Obviously, they're tearing it down, right? We know they're tearing it down. And they're going to let Kirk Cousins' bloated contract play out. And they need to have enough money to sign Justin Jefferson.
Right.
Will they have enough draft capital to move up and get their quarterback of the future in next year's draft? I just don't see it. I mean, he's going to have to do something like mortgage some of the future to get that quarterback to move up to get that spot.
Right.
Even if they finish with a top 10 or a top 5 pick, they could get their quarterback, but they have so many holes, so many things that they've let go. Over 7 starters have been let go off the Minnesota Vikings.
Right. And Mike, and I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that was one of the points I wanted to get to. Yes. Well, I admire what Ryan Poles has done in Chicago with, like, these questions have to be answered, right? But he traded down from 1-9 and gathered some more capital, other first round picks, that if this doesn't work out, he's still got a boatload of money.
Right.
And then he can package these picks up. And there's a pretty good quarterback class coming out next year. And Green Bay has done the same thing. That's why I put Jordan Love in there. And then you got Fields there, the two big question marks in the North. But they have backup plans. Their GMs were smart enough to go and put backup plans in. You know, you extend Jordan Love to be less money than it would be to have a fifth-year option. He made a savvy move. Gouda guy made a smart move right there, and Poles made a smart move by trading down and gathering extra capital. What the hell are you going to do, Vikings? What are you going to do when two of the teams that need quarterbacks are going to be able to get a quarterback before you get a quarterback? So what are you going to get? Third best quarterback from next year's class? I mean, how much do you believe in Captain Kirk? He's getting up there too. It's starting to turn into like what, Aaron Rodgers 3, you know? I mean, here's this. Do you want to extend him? Do you believe in Kirk Cousins, you know, for 3-4 years?
They've already declined a chance to re-sign Kirk Cousins. And
I mean, is it a prove it?
That's really interesting because the money he can command right now, in my opinion, is more than he'll be able to command next year if they only win 4 or 5 games. Or if they're below 500, it's going to hurt his stock and his price tag. So
right.
Maybe that was a move not to extend him now because, I mean, Kirk Cousins goes to San Francisco. They could be going to the Super Bowl, right? So,
I mean, isn't that crazy, though? I mean, I think that Kwesi is trying to be savvy, and it's just failing everywhere because all of his moves remind me a lot of what Bob Quinn used to do. Like, and you're like, he had the smartest guy in the room mentality. You trade for a tight end that you immediately have to give a max contract to, and you you take your future away. And then you get a tight end that's really good that you have to pay max money to. And then you go and get rid of all this talent. And I understand you're in a cap strain, but why did you go move draft capital, you know, to make your team younger? I mean, I don't know, man. I would be questioning Kwesi as far as all of the teams in the North. I think that, you know, for the winners of the division, they have the most questions to answer, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is baffling. They have nobody behind Kirk Cousins.
Right.
They had Kellen Mond, they let him go. A guy who knew the system and was developing in the system, they let him go. So, I mean, at least the Packers drafted Sean Clifford, right?
Right.
The
backup
Bears
plan.
Jay Walker behind Justin Fields, and like you
backup
said,
plan
behind Goff. The Vikings have a big question mark, and it really makes you wonder, does Kwesi have a plan? Is there a plan?
You know, it reminds me of, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? Like if you're playing a card game and I think that they're bluffing, and if everybody calls their bluff, they're just going to get knocked in the teeth this year by everybody. Like they look on the outside, it could be something. They just won the division. What am I going to say? They just won the division, right? Right? One thing I can say is the last time you met the Lions, it was like meeting that wrong person in the dark alley. You got punked. You got punked by the Lions the last time. And your defense is worse.
I love that comparison of Bob Quinn to what Kwesi's doing. Because if you look at it, there are a lot of parables there. Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford. Justin Jefferson, Calvin Johnson.
Right.
Muster an above average team, even with those great pieces in place.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, probably the best receiver in the league. So was Calvin. That didn't translate to a playoff run. Okay. So
they can't take the next step. It's like every franchise does this, right? They bring a guy in, they tear it down, they build it up, and then you get your push, right? Then you get your shot. And they took their shot. They took their shot. They aren't going to get to reset that franchise until they draft a rookie quarterback and run a rookie quarterback through a 5-year series, right? That's how these teams can go up and down, is within these rookie contracts. You have a shot while you got all these guys cheap. That's how you win. That's why the Lions are going to be so damn good next year, is because they have a whole bunch of guys. It's almost like you get a whole bunch of new dudes, but it's just the same guys, but they're all progressing. So you get the all boats, are rising tide at the same time here. And second and third year guys that are about ready to pop.
You see the comment from Robert here? He says Green Bay Packers 10 wins at least this year.
At least.
And Russ, you know me, what we do on Monday nights is a lot different than what we do here on the phone sessions. It's a kinder, gentler main event mic here on the phone session. So I would like to formally invite Robert to bring that take on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time to the NFC North open mic night, where I will shred that take to pieces. So 10 wins he predicts for the Green Bay Packers. Thanks for the comment on the phone session. Please bring that take on Monday nights at 7 p.m. We are broadcasting live into Facebook, and we will be ready to destroy that.
Yes, we will. And there's a couple levels of how you can be courageous. And it is courageous. If you want to put a comment in here, that is courageous to put your opinion right out there for everybody to see it. But there's another level when you want to come on here and talk some football with us. And we like that. So what I'm going to do right now, because it's 11:30, and I always love to open up these lines right here and give you a chance. If you want to come talk some football with us, then you can come in. So I just threw a link in all of the comments right there through Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan, NFC North main event, Detroit Lions news, Detroit Lions villain squad, and the YouTube channels. Please subscribe to those, by the way. But I threw the comment in there. Jump on here. Let's have a conversation. It'll be fun. We can have some talks about these NFC North guys, right? And we don't know what we're talking about either. So don't worry about football knowledge.
Don't worry. Take sucks. We already know it sucks.
We know it sucks, but this isn't every morning. We are making it through the marathon right here. This is what you call the lull of the off season right here. We're past the OTAs. We're in between. We're in that 3-week downtime, but we're still pumped up about our team. And I refuse to talk about baseball or basketball or anything stupid. So that's what we do. We are football talk 24/7. Well, pretty much, if you go to the page, any of the pages. So what I want to hit.
Oh, before you do, Russ, I wanted to bring one thing up. Do you know what tomorrow is? What tomorrow marks? July the 7th, 2023. Tomorrow's the 6th. Do you know what that marks?
I don't.
That marks 2 months before the Lions take the field in Kansas City for the season opener. 2 months from tomorrow, exactly 60 days. The Lions, and if the Lions win the coin toss and they get the first possession of the 2023 season, I know you and I are going to be beside ourselves. We're going to be in the Lions den, just soaking it up that night.
Yep.
Thursday night football, first game of the year, in what we hope will be a magical season. 2 months away, and I'm just champing at the bit to get there.
You know what? We were talking earlier about putting our little music groups together right here. And I do want to go to the Lions Den, but we are kicking around the idea of doing some main event concerts to where we can go, entertain some places around here in the Detroit area before a game and maybe line up some pretty cool entertainment along with right before the pregame festivities. So I might want to be able to do that. I want to cheer for this. Oh, great. We got a fan in the back. It looks like a Packer fan. Yes. All right.
Packer
How
fan,
y'all doing?
I am doing fantastic. Who am I talking to here?
Evan.
Oh my God, you got a haircut. I was gonna say, I was like,
Rose gone.
Evan, I didn't even recognize him.
Dapper
hey, Evan, are you in the 808, which I believe is Atlanta, right?
No, I'm not. That is just the nickname I used because it was just kind of working.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you in Wisconsin?
No, I am in the state of the losing bear.
Oh,
The Chicago Bears.
yeah. Yep. You and Bill the Packer fan. You guys
know, Evan. Do you know, Evan, that there are Green Bay fans who dislike you just as much as Lions fans because you're not in Wisconsin? Are you aware of this bias?
And that's all right.
Not a big bias. It's not a horribly big bias. There are certain people that don't like you if you're not from their state. But then how would your team be able to afford itself if people didn't like you outside of state?
Well, we're the Lions, so we can't really answer that.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like they're hating on you for being successful, because a lot of people just like move because they have, more money and they just want to go to a different spot, but they can still like their football team, guys. I think that's stupid. I think that's a dumb argument. Or you didn't live in the States. Like, what if you move out of the country? Like, I still want to watch football.
That's ridiculous. Like our friend Nick Green, he's not from Wisconsin, but his family is. So he became a Packer fan by proxy. And, Lions fans, we are all accepting, man. So I just wondered if you were aware of that bias, Evan. It sounds like you are. And I'm glad to see that you're, loyal to your team no matter where you live. I respect that.
Man, what I really, really like is that you came on representing the Packers with some good Honolulu blue in the background and that nice blue shirt that you're wearing right there. You fit right into the panel.
Yep. And he said Chicago right out of the gate. I love that too.
I love this right here, Robert. I'm still Robert. Out of all the Packer fans in the world, I'm starting to like you or hate you less and less. That's false. I'm a third generation Packer backer in Texas now, and I'm originally from Chicago. See, right there. I mean, Robert's a bigger fan than anybody else on here not commenting, because we're on a show right now being avid fans. So I appreciate, if you're listening right now, you are an avid fan. But Robert is commenting, and he's representing the Green Bay Packers in the comments, which is more than what all you haters are doing. So I'm going to defend Robert on that one. Yeah.
So, Evan, did you hear the report about Packers president Mark Murphy leaking that the Jets would be on?
Yeah, I got a tad bit of that yesterday.
Did you get on that? What's your take on that?
I mean, it was honestly, it's not like it was unexpected. The Jets just got their Hall of Fame quarterback, the final stone in their Infinity Gauntlet to make their playoff run.
I love it.
And for him to say that, like, it's not surprising at all. I mean, out of all the Hard Knocks that we wanted to see, that was probably one of the top ones.
Okay. So now Russell Wayne will be hard at work this evening making a meme with Robert Saleh as Thanos.
He is, man. I mean, I love the move. I think that anybody that thinks that he's just going to go get abused in that division, I think he may go and show them how to be a QB in that division because of what he's going to be asked to do with a top 5 defense.
Yeah, and reports out of New York is that he's working with everyone hands-on. He's even talking to the defense, telling them, here's what a quarterback would do. Here's what I would do in this situation. And that he's all in. He's invested, which is something Packer fans always griped about, that he was detached and not invested in, like, especially the young guys and helping them along. But he seems to be invested here in the Jets. And I have my personal opinions about it. I think Rodgers is a narcissist, and I think he would have retired if Tom Brady would have played another season. But he doesn't want to share that podium in Canton with Tom Brady to be overshadowed like he has been his whole career. That's my own personal opinion of it. And now he's out to prove this is his last hurrah. He saw Tom Brady go to Tampa and win a Super Bowl, and he believes he's got that same situation with the New York Jets, and it will be interesting. And Russ Wayne, I know that
he's my quarterback.
Your way too early prediction was Jets Lions Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So all those things are lining up for that to happen for you, and you are the Swami, so it wouldn't shock me.
Well, gosh, I mean, it's so crazy because like we've been doing this like this for a couple of years now, but I've had conversations with many of people throughout the years, every year before we made a podcast, and it's never been really talks like this with the guys. It's like you're happy about the guy or the draft pick or something like that, but Super Bowls and like playoff wins and stuff like that, that wasn't something that was normal for Lion fan. And I know there's just a lot of Lion fans out there that can relate to that, but in this case, where I'm talking about the leveling up of the ships at the same time, you got a lot of really, really good first, second year, third year talent that are all they're all growing up together in a sense. And then Brad Holmes bringing in like these super high profile savvy veterans like Cameron Sutton and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to get right in the mix with all of these young guys, a young core. It's exciting. I've seen it happen through other teams. I watched it happen in San Francisco. You watched it happen with like the Denver Broncos when Peyton Manning went there. You watch these teams get built, and then you drop a couple of these dudes in there, and then all of a sudden we're contenders. I love it, and I think that the Lions are on the cusp of that.
It's really too bad, really, that the Minnesota Vikings let Rick Spielman go, because he built that team. Let's face it, that was his team that he built that went 13 wins last year and went to the playoffs and won the division. And this Quezzy guy now is tasked with tearing it all down and looking like the bad guy. It's really a shame they didn't let Rick Spielman see that through. And I really like what the Packers are doing. I think they are being undersold. Regardless of how good Jordan Love is, I still think they finished second in this division.
Yeah, that's I mean, I'm one of the people that took the Packers in the first week because, I mean, everybody's riding high on all this new stuff that the Bears brought through. But what the Packers bring is like a lot of the team that they had last year that they can build off of. It's not like a bunch of new pieces that got to kind of come in and learn what time it is.
Right. And a lot of these Packer fans, they blame Aaron Rodgers for the season. Evan, are you one of those Packer fans? Was last year's 8 wins, was that Aaron Rodgers' fault?
It was not all of his fault. Some of it was because of his broken thumb, of course. You're going to be inhibited. He played with it, though. But a lot of it was the rookies. The rookie drops were really bad.
Yeah.
But there was still some times that he was just not hitting where he was supposed to be hitting with that broken thumb.
And can you expect Jordan Love to be better?
From last year, there's honestly, I'm seeing 9 or 10 wins this upcoming season. There are 2 old people on our roster that are the age of 30 or above, and that's David Bakhtiari and there's Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, you got a young team for sure.
30?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
We got
only 2.
So we got a new person on the show. What's up, Rob? How you doing, man?
All right, man.
Who are you representing? Green? I see Green Bay in there.
I'm Robert Bertana, the one that's been commenting.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're in Texas right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you coming to this level of it because we like having conversations with people.
I do the Frozen Tundra with Nick every Friday, man. So I'm always on. Yeah, I got no qualms coming on and talking about football, especially the Packers.
Oh, we like Nick. He's one of the good fans that are out there. You do not have to be in the state of Wisconsin. Nobody wants to be in Wisconsin.
I know a lot of Packer fans everywhere, man, and not just Wisconsin.
Like, I mean, if you like the Packers, you can like the Packers and then be on a Hawaiian island if you have the money to do that. I mean, that's cool. If you're rich and you want to do that.
I lived in Chicago my first 30 years, and I used to drive down I'd spend a week at training camp every year. I mean, I've been to plenty of football games in Green Bay and Milwaukee. So, I mean,
Robert, you are familiar with this faction of the fan base that has some grudge against Packer fans not in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. No, in Wisconsin they call them Phipps. Fucking Illinois people.
Oh, I wondered what Phipps was.
Or fucking Illinois bitches. That's the other, but it used to be Phipps. Just fucking Illinois people always coming over and fucking shit up. So
okay. Thank you for enlightening me on what a FIP and a fib was.
Yeah, look, man, I grew up. I went to high school in Chicago, man. I grew up a hardcore Packer fan. I'm third generation, so in the '80s, man, when I was going through school, the Bear fans gave me hell, man. But we turned it around, and we pretty much own the Bears now, and the whole thing, man.
Pretty much. I mean,
it's got to be the most domination of one team over another. I mean, it took them 75 years to build like a 25-plus game lead on us, and in a span of 30 years, we took it all back, and then now I have a 10-game lead. I had Bear fans telling me, "You'll never see it in your lifetime. Your team ahead of us," and I'm here to tell you, I'm still alive, and we hold a nice, healthy lead.
Sure. I mean, and it may not change. I think that a lot of the Bear fans just thinking they're going to come in there and clean house week one. It's like, you got to give your team a chance to gel, bro. Like the Packers are the team. They're pretty much taking that defense that they had last year and bring it into this year, add Hercules to it. And you even got Carl Banks.
The defense should have been, I mean, from what we were in 21 to what we were last year, I mean, it dropped. I mean, I don't know if it was the scheme or they gave Barry more, leeway or whatever, and he was trying something. I don't really understand it. We were so up and down. We never played a complete game. And
so are you on the fence right now about Joe Barry right now?
I am still on the fence. I mean, a lot of things in Green Bay right now are we got to wait and see. Like Jordan Love. I mean, everybody, look, we did it right. You guys are doing the same thing. You got a nice quarterback. He can sit on your bench and ride out and learn the system. And that's what Jordan Love did. He's learned the system. Right. It's now time to put up or shut up. And it's the same thing with Barry. Look, bro, you showed us you could give us a top 10 defense. Last year you regressed. If you don't come back, this is it. Adios.
So this is it. So if he doesn't show out this year, you're ready to boot.
Well, Matt LaFleur is the one who said, "Look, I'm going to give him another shot," and I believe in my coach. I mean, he's come here and he's changed some things, and if LaFleur believes that he can do it, then I'm look. Like I said, I'm third generation. I believe in the system. I believe in what's given us 30 years of great football. I mean, they've been doing it over and over. Everybody says the Packers are going backwards. It's not that easy, man. It's not. We just don't fall that easy. I mean, the lines are rising. It's not that easy to rise.
No, I mean, you have to have a few good drafts in a row, but we do have A-Dub. A-Dub, are you lagging today? You look like you're in a different situation right here. How you doing?
I'm good. Just out on the road, just getting off of work.
I love that you don't have a lag. I might even be able to have a conversation with you. I want you to chime in on this right here. I mean, how long is your Joe Barry leash now?
This season, I'd say, is the year where Joe Barry needs to prove that he is more than capable of putting the defense together that'll actually work for us. Like Robert said, this year has to be make or break for Joe Barry. Here's the thing. You have 8 number 1 draft picks on this defense now, and apparently this defense is good enough to where it should be top 10, and you have to give us that kind of performance. Like, if your play calling and your scheme does not work out accordingly, then we got problems.
Right, but you could see when you're looking at the entire body of work of what Joe Barry did last year, you had a lot of newer guys, you had some injured guys, but the performance of the defense definitely picked up towards the end of the season. So if you isolate those, the progression ones, they're not really the 21st ranked defense. They're more like, I think they're more middle of the pack than being a bottom defense or Joe Barry did a horrible job. He progressed.
Did you see week 1 against the Vikings, man? We got Preston Smith trying to cover Jefferson. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I mean, that's a horrible idea on any platform.
Yeah, and to clear something up.
Named Carl Banks. How does Carl Banks figure into it?
Banks?
Yeah, didn't you say that name, Russ?
It was one of their draft picks. I thought it was
Carl
Brooks. Did I?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm trying to be as versed as I can about these other teams.
We got. As long as I think the problem was the scheme. It was just we didn't play man to man when we should. I mean, you look what happened the second time we played Minnesota. I mean, Alexander's doing the gritty on Jefferson. I mean, that's how it should have been from the jump. we got guys that are great in the secondary, and they should be using their talents properly, not leaving them, running willy-nilly and just playing zone.
Yeah, but you got a lot of first, second, third, like real young guys, and
we have a lot of youth.
A lot of leveling of ships. All the tide rises all the ships right there.
Yeah, and to clear something up, it's actually another guy we have that is above 30 right now, and that's Preston Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was
well, he's a good veteran leader, right? I mean, he's the perfect dude to be right in the middle of all them guys. I'm a believer in the Packer defense because, anybody that can, clog up the middle like that, and then you got those great cornerbacks, especially when you get the Stokes back. I think that you have one of the most dangerous secondaries in the NFL.
It's going to be a great season, man.
And skill for the Packers.
Yeah, and when you speak about Stokes, there is still the question on whether we will pick up his 5th-year option. Like he did before he got hurt, he did regress a bit, looking like he was about to be in a sophomore slump before he got hurt. But yeah, when it comes to the injuries that he suffered last season, that leaves a great deal of question on what he's going to look like.
He must
when
be
he
driving.
comes back. Yep.
Yeah, we can tell sometimes you're popping in and out a little bit.
Russ, we got 3 Packer fans in here. We're outnumbered. We gotta pose a good question for the Packer fans. So we'll start with Evan. Evan, I need you to make a pick for me here. The over/under is 2 on how many times Quay Walker will cry in the tunnel. What do you think?
I'm thinking a little under. I gotta have some hope that he matures, but I'm thinking a little under that. Maybe
You're taking
one.
the under on the Quay Walker tears. Okay.
You should have been
second-year progressions, man.
Yeah, you got to take the under quicker on that. You got to know that your guy is going to the leadership right there. Oh, let's see. Barry, our favorite Scotland Packer fan, is in there. He says, "Once you go Pack,
you never go back."
Oh man! So once you go,
wait,
here's the
Barry.
thing. Once you go Pack, we don't want you back.
You got to respect Barry being in Scotland, supporting the Packers. And these Packer fans, they don't even like it if you're from Illinois, let alone Scotland.
Bring back
Kudos
the
to
team.
you, Barry.
I wonder what time it is over there in Scotland.
Hey, Barry, text, put in the comment what time it is over there in Scotland.
Because he's really a diehard if it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You're a diehard if you're on this show on June the 6th.
Well, but he's really a diehard if it's like 3 a.m. over there just to get up there, because he's on every day almost, man. He comes on all the time.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. That's not too bad.
He even says 16:55. I totally respect the military time. Thank you for that, especially coming right off the 4th of July.
5 p.m. in Scotland. He's on his 3rd pint.
Yeah.
And then he's in Scotland around a whole bunch of people who say the skull chant, which just means cheers in Norwegian.
Yeah.
No, actually, skull is an acronym for still keeps on losing.
Yeah.
Oh man. Where are all these? I figured that 3rd insult usually brings Jamez straight into the live feed, but I guess the Vikings are still out there trying to be in witness protection. I got surrounded yesterday.
They're waiting for some good news to come on. I mean, nothing good has come out of Minnesota in months.
So on the optimistic tip, here's what optimistic Viking fan thinks. They think that Brian Flores can come in to a roster completely bare of talent. Like, first thing Quezzy did is like, okay, all the talent is all gone now. Now I want you to be Brian Flores with a whole bunch of no-name dudes and cab drivers and drywallers. Go. And I mean, really, you got Lewis Seen, you got a couple of young pieces on there.
Hey,
I mean,
they have a reason.
They have a nice little, a young core that maybe Brian Flores can come in and make a difference. You can't be any worse than 32nd in the league. So, I mean, even if they're like 21st, they have a pretty good offense. So they can be optimistic. But the other teams, man, the other teams in the North, the Packers, the Lions, the Bears, they all got a lot better. You didn't.
I know. If they go first to worst, holy cow.
I mean, I don't think they're going to win a game in the division. I'm going to keep
I don't either. I agree with you when you said that. I agree the same thing.
But you know what? They could come in and like win the first division game, and I'm like, oh, duh. It wouldn't be my first bad take.
I think you guys are underselling Brian Flores, though. He called the defense on a Super Bowl winning team. He proved in Miami that he can turn it around with a list of relative scrubs with a couple of pieces. I think Brian Flores is going to make a huge difference.
Yep.
If only they had those 6 starters on defense to go with him, they'd be real dangerous.
Oh, for sure. But here's the thing: is like, there's no question that Brian Flores has the abilities to do that. But the other teams are also in a place where they got better, and they also have guys that they can coach that have more talent in those positions. You know, it's like you can say that they're going to get better, but you also have to say that the rest of the division's staying right where it is. You barely got some wins last year, so you're asking a lot out of Brian Flores to come in and fix that.
I mean, they were bummed bad, out that Brian Flores went to the Vikings too. I was rooting for Brian Flores. Kudos to Mike Tomlin for picking him up and adding him to his staff after what he had to go through in Miami, which was a clear case of injustice, in my opinion, what happened to Brian Flores in Miami. I was rooting for him to turn it around and be a head coach again in this league. But now he plays for Minnesota, so I have to root against him, and that's kind of a bummer because I was looking forward to rooting.
Pick the wrong conference or the wrong division.
Right?
But
right.
Isn't this NFC like not just the division, not just the NFC North? I'm talking like the entire NFC is wide open. Any of these teams, if you get into the playoffs in the NFC, you could go to the Super Bowl. Like that's how wide open. There's no clear cut. I mean, you got Mahomes, you got the Chiefs, you got the Bengals, all these powerhouse AFC teams, and then what? Like the Cowboys and the Eagles, the Niners. Like everybody's there though. It's not like the Niners are far and away, like running away with it. What are they going to do? A quarterback? Like the Eagles. I mean, is Jalen Hurts really the truth? I mean, he had a good season. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that have one good season. Robert Griffith, Vince Young. You get tape.
Well, when it comes to the Eagles, I think the question is their defense going to be the same as it was last season? That's another question for them.
For sure. So, I mean, as a Packer fan, in an influx. You're going through a whole bunch of transitions in the NFC. This is the best time to go through a transition. I mean, you guys picked a really good time to transition your quarterback to make the next move because it's really still wide open. There's no dominant NFC teams yet. So,
Russ, I got to jump off here, and I want your viewership to go up, so I'm going to jump off. I'm
plug the show
before I go, all right?
I love it when you do that.
It's NFC North Open Mic Night every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We bring all 4 fan bases in and we talk smack. Bring your thick skin. Leave with your feelings hurt. NFC North Open Mic, 7 p.m. Eastern. Home of the bad takes. Take care, Russell Wayne. Have a great day. And you Packer heads, have a good one as well. Take care.
You too, man.
Oh, man. It's always great to have Main Event Mike coming on here. I love the way that he hosts. I mean, I do it a little bit differently than he does. I just kind of like yell at the screen, talk some. I'm not really a smack talker on this part of the program. I like to kind of really go over everybody's team. I want to know how you feel about your team. So throw that into the comments. I mean, not just our talking heads that are on here, the ones that were brave enough to come on to the broadcast. Rob was in the comments for a couple of days, and why don't you go ahead and plug your? I mean, you got a Packer show that is what, every Friday night? Go ahead and plug.
Yeah, that. Bros and Thunder Network every Friday night at 7:00. Nick Green, John Dorn, we're all there hanging out. Bill, the Packer fan, he hosts too. I mean, him and Nick run the group. So I mean, come on.
We got him. And
we opened with the first 30 minutes or so, we talked, just our Packers, and then we open it up and let everybody come out. It's all we try to incite, Bear fans, Detroit fans, we want to have the words.
No.
Yeah.
It's intimidating to go on to a show with a bunch of guys that are on I'm in the middle of it right now, but that's all right. You're a good guy, man. I like your look. I don't have no problems with the Lions or any of these organizations. I just have problems with the fans, how the fans handle it. You're a decent fan, man. You're straightforward. I dig it. Mike, same thing, man. I can respect his view. He's a hardcore Lions fan. You guys are, and that's how you should be. I am a hardcore. Look, man, I keep my tattoo right there. I mean, I got my team tattooed on my body. That's how much I love them. And I love that. Fan hard. I mean, that if you're out there, don't let anybody disrespect on your team and stuff like that. Know your shit. Don't come in with some bullshit. But I mean, know your enemies. You should know.
Yep.
You should know. Like when someone's arguing with you from a different fan base, if you don't know what their roster is, you really got nothing to say. I mean,
well, we play you guys twice a year, so I mean, like I said, I grew up in Chicago, so I listened to Mike North and all those guys, and listened to that for years, man, because that's my enemy. I mean, I can still get TMJ, 620. I listen to the Packers too. I mean,
so we got Barry in there. Say, hey, Mike, main event, Mike, if you can hear me out there, Barry wants you to send him a friend request. He's feeling like you're slighting him. All right. Anthony says, are the Cowboys the sleeper team this year?
No.
I mean,
no.
What does that even mean?
No, I don't get that.
It means like a team that's flying under the radar, that's being overlooked.
They're never flying under the radar. They call them Super Bowl contenders every single year when they don't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Dak Prescott's overrated.
I mean, I think that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
I'd agree.
I don't think. I think they just lost Kellen Moore to the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, you got to think about it. The Vikings and the Cowboys both have the same amount of Super Bowl wins. In the last 20 years, it's been a nice zill.
Well, I mean, the Cowboys have this. They're definitely one of the best organizations ever, and they have a lot of. They can beat their chests about history. They actually, I think they can beat their chest more about history than anybody in the North not named the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, hey, you speak about Cowboys history. We can always remind them they already own history as far as the longest streak of not being in the NFC Championship since the 90s.
Really?
Here's a crazy fact.
Really?
Brock.
Well, I think the Lions are probably.
I thought the Lions, because the Lions was 92.
Are you
Well,
saying
the thing is,
there's nobody worse than the Lions?
like
How dare you?
I'm saying, I was just saying, all the years the Cowboys been in the playoffs since the 90s, they've had a long streak of having not been past the divisional round of the playoffs so far.
Yeah. I will say this. Brock Purdy has more wins in the playoffs than Dak Prescott does, and it was his first year. And he has the same amount of wins in the playoffs as Tony Romo does.
Yeah, I think that they're a pretend team. I think that they could end up missing the playoffs. Yeah. I mean,
and when you speak about Tony Romo, how funny is it that he's a better announcer than he ever was a football player?
Okay. I mean,
well, I don't know. He was a pretty good quarterback, but
I mean, you also got to realize, I think Tony Romo, didn't he go undrafted? Or was he a late round pick? Yeah, he like, when you're undrafted and you go that high to at least win a ton of games, you proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah. No, he was a pretty good quarterback. I like Tony Romo. But yes, you do see his knowledge. You can tell he could read a defense by the way he announces. I mean, he calls it out. He can almost tell you what they're going to do before they do it.
Yeah, but he looks really dumb when he's wrong. What? It's funny. It's like, oh, they should do a run play on this, and then they're going to defend this, and then they throw like a completely different, like an out route, and okay. And then they don't even go back to it and be like, wow, That was way off, Tony. Like, no, they just like pretend like he didn't say it. Oh my gosh, Barry, you know that word that you use in Scotland that starts with a C and then it has a N and a T in it? We don't use it. That one means something different here. I can't throw that one up there as much as you would like me to. So we got, come on, Booth. And John Dorn. Okay, they're busts. Okay, John thinks everybody's a bust that isn't a Packer. All right. Happy belated 4th of July. I'm just going through these comments, guys. I'm sorry here. Michael says the Vikings realize they wasn't as good as the record said. They didn't try to hang on, cleared cap space and started to rebuild. They'll be back in a few years. Okay. Well, they need somebody to be a general manager because Quezzy's. If I'm a Viking fan, I'm looking at what Quessie's done, and I'm just like, I got to do this. Like, what are you doing? You trade a second and a third round pick for a tight end that you have to give a max contract to in a year. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're a Viking fan, come on to the show and defend your team.
I don't think they only had 5 picks. I don't think they could have did anything this last year. I think this is why they're selling out. I don't agree with this. The Bears did it last year. They're doing it this year. They're selling out and getting rid of all your talent. I mean, I don't know that that's the smartest way to rebuild.
Well, it's called the result of cap hell. And it's so funny when you listen to a Viking fan say, well, we're not in cap hell. We got under the cap. No, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get under the cap. You have to get under the cap. If you don't get under the cap, you don't play football. You have to get under the cap.
Yeah.
What the result of the cap hell is you have to cut all of your talent and all of your players. That is the result. That is why you are in the position you are in. As a result, you burned off all. I mean, you're going to have to get rid of Cousins in order to reset your franchise, and that's where year one starts. You have to get a quarterback on a rookie contract, or have a plan to.
And they just cut everybody this year. I mean, I can't believe they didn't get anything for anybody. I mean, come on.
Wait a minute. They traded down in the 7th round for Zadarius Smith. Okay. Stop saying they got nothing. There's a value. That was like, it was 20 spots, Rob. You like that? You can't be
if I recall, they did draft a QB before. With this past draft, they drafted a QB.
Kelly Mond?
Yeah, Mond. Yeah, that's who it is. That's who it was, Mond.
I don't see any of these guys running to the, to typing in Kellen. Hey, we have. I don't know how much they're really believing.
Why don't they trade up for Justin Fields? I hear he's great.
Hey, the Justin Fields thing is, what we're gonna see. You got Nate.
Yeah, they're in a prove it season too with him. I mean, it's third season. Bear fans are all in on him, and if he flops, they're gonna look like a bunch of dumbasses.
Well, the fans will look like a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah, big time.
But Ryan Poles will give them some fodder right off the bat with 2 first-round picks. If Justin Fields flops, I guarantee they'll trade 2 first-round picks to get another quarterback, and then they'll be all in again. We got DJ Moore and Mooney. Okay, all right. DJ Moore's.
Don't forget about Chase Claypool. They got him too.
Yeah, but isn't he like crazy right now? Like.
Yeah. They were already out on him. He's already on the house.
But I'll tell you what, I do really like the DJ Moore pickup for them because the dude is a yak man and he's made awful quarterbacks look good for a long time. PJ Walker including, and I think a hot take would be, check this out. If Justin Fields gets injured, which if he plays the way that he keeps playing, he's going to be dead by week 5. Yeah. PJ Walker might take over. He's already got a pretty good connection with DJ Moore. What if PJ Walker ends up becoming the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears? If you're a Bear fan out there, tell me I'm stupid. Tell me that's a dumb take. This is the home of the bad take, so we don't care. But You know,
it could very well happen. I mean, how long do you sit on the guy? He's already what's it? He's 5-20. That's his record. 5 wins. That's it. I mean, how long do you sit on that?
there we go. Mike the Bear fan, get your ass in here, man. I'll pump your stuff up. Mike the Bear fan. We need Mike the Bear fan in here. You think that Justin Fields is going to have an MVP season? I come in and talk about them. Let's see if I can find you on here. There you go, Mike. Right there you go, Mike. I love the fact that you go all in on your boy right there. This is the Hallis Hall report. They're reporting every single Wednesday during the season. I don't know if he's doing anything right now. But if he is, make sure that you follow Mike the Bear fan if you are a Bear fan, because he's into that kind of thing and he's our resident Bear fan. And we like him as far as Bear fan are concerned. But he thinks Justin Fields is going to have an MVP season. You bring in Nate Davis, you draft an offensive lineman in the first round, and we're snapping, right? We're ready to go.
Did he learn how to read a defense since last season? I mean, because he sees it, it breaks down, he runs. That's pretty much how it goes most times.
The scariest thing about Justin Fields is the fact that he doesn't have to be that good of a passer to be very effective. So he doesn't have to be, 5,000 yards or 4,000 yards. This dude could throw for like 3,000 yards, rush for 1,000 yards, and still score 30 total touchdowns and kill teams. So I'm not going to sit up here and just be like, he's busting Fields. I don't have the balls to say he's
I will say, if Justin Fields is any sort of good, I'm going to call out my good old friend Charles Martin to ice him.
Yeah.
Man, week one's the official ceremony of Jordan Love taking over his ownership of the Bears, being passed down from Rodgers to Love. Week 1.
Hey, I love this. I love that you guys are out there. So is this passing ownership? Are you still gonna own the Bears, Evan? Do the Packers still own the Bears, and will ownership continue?
Yes, I think ownership is very easy to obtain because the rosters, the difference in rosters, you got the Volkswagen Beetle with tinted windows. It's still a Volkswagen Beetle, just with some lipstick.
Can't polish a turd.
Oh, God. Hey,
can't polish a turd.
Hey, Dub, are the Green Bay Packers just going to continue this ownership of the Chicago Bears?
Yeah. There's every chance it could happen. Like, we're already in a place that I'm sure Bear fans would dread the most is Jordan Love going to be that third QB with a Hall of Fame career like anyone before him? Like, if he is good as anyone believes he is, and given the roster he's playing with right now, he has every chance to maintain the ownership of him.
I love that take. And I know how you feel, Rob. He's chomping at the bit. He loves it.
Man, we're going to continue to own the Bears. This is just look. Even if Jordan Love fails this year, we're going to draft a quarterback next year, and it'll just be we'll reset it. But I think Jordan Love. I mean, look, we drafted him for a reason. He was a first-round draft pick. He sat behind there. He's ready to go. He's chomping at the bit. All the team is behind him. The players alone being so supportive of him is going to. I mean, look, man, I don't understand how the Bears been around this long and don't know how to find a quarterback. I'm not sold on Justin Fields. I think he's another bust, and we're going to continue to own him until they can fix that and find them a franchise quarterback. Adios.
I love it. That is hot take right here. July 5th, 2023. We got Packer fans on the NFC North Mac talking right. They're coming right out saying they're going to continue to own the Chicago Bears.
Everywhere I go, I post it, man. I tell all Bear fans, I've been into it, jaw-jacking with a bunch of them in the huddle. And I tell them, man, week 1, we're officially taking over right there in Lambeau South. Right there. Get a good seat so you can see who your daddy's going to be the next 10 years.
Oh, wow, man. I love it.
Until Jordan Love gets traded to the Jets.
It's been look, as much as I hate to see our great quarterbacks leave and go to the Jets, it's worked out for us.
It has worked out for us.
The next guy up's pretty good.
I mean, I'm interested to see how much better because the Bears did get a better roster. I mean, you have $100 million. It's hard not to buy a couple guys that are going to come on that can play. I think they got
Don't
better.
say-
And I'm not.
I agree.
Go ahead, A-Dub.
Yeah, I'm saying I agree. The Bears did get better when it came to all the money they spent on the roster, but I'd say the question still remains, how well is it going to gel? Like, the guys you pick up, how well do they fit your scheme and your system? That's the questions you have to answer when it comes to any additions you get.
And you got to get these.
How good of a scheme fit is it?
Exactly. And like, how much do you even believe in your coaching? I mean, that's one thing that's not even said in all this. You're talking about players, you're talking about draft picks and all this stuff that Ryan Poles is doing a good job. There's no doubt in my mind that he's bringing talent to that team. But you don't know if your coach can coach yet. You won 3 games last year. And actually, you gave up. You coached a team that gave up on you.
They laid down last year, man. They laid down. They got their first. I mean, I understand why they did it. They got the first round pick, then they made some moves, and I mean, he turned magic into it, and he made wine out of water.
To win in the NFL is a hard thing to do, and you can't tell me that there is any meaningless games. Like, check out this: the Lions had nothing to gain by beating the Packers in the last game of the season.
It was pride. Just pride.
Now, tell me this. If the Packers would have won that game, even if it was close, what would the dynamic be? What would the talking points be for the Detroit Lions going into the season if they had not beaten the Packers in Lambeau Field to eliminate them from the playoffs? Oh, same old line. We still have same old Lions people that are out there, but at least there's like a somewhat of a level of respect. It's okay. You guys got it done once. Wow. I mean, are you guys for real? I don't know, but it happened. At least it wasn't stealing defeat from the jaws of victory.
I've seen the Lions beat us multiple games before. I mean, back in the day, they it was a nice division to be playing in. Everybody was competitive.
Google that shit. When was the last time the Lions beat the Packers 3 times in a row?
Yeah, it's been a while, but we beat you guys 10 in a row before. I mean,
but that's the standard.
I understand that, but it's the division. We constantly play each other twice a year. You're going to run games up. It's division games can never be anything, and it used to be like that. You could never count on the Packers. Could be we sucked in the 80s, but when we played our division, boy, it was a smackdown.
Yep. So now we have Mike the Bear fan in here. I brought you in.
I talked enough shit to bring him on.
Yeah. Defend your boy, man.
I couldn't find the link at all. And, man, I got to give it to you, Packer fans. You've had our number for quite a few years, and it's time the table has turned. Yeah, you have Love. He's the what if. You don't know what you have with him. The Bears literally pretty much went on a rebuild for the most part. For the last couple years, it's a brand new team.
But they are who we thought they were.
We literally revamped our offensive line. We switched Cody Whitehair to center where he was a Pro Bowl. The only reason why they switched him around because of injuries on that offensive line. I think the Bears will have a top 15 offensive line as long as they can stay healthy. And Justin Fields, this is his make it or break it year, and I'm all in on him 100%. They went out and got a number 1 receiver. You may talk smack about Claypool, but I can remember you Packer fans kind of wanted him. And then when he went to the Bears, like, oh, he ain't putting the stats up, this and that. He didn't get on the field very often, no. But this is his year as well.
Yeah, but he dropped off his last year in Pittsburgh, man. I mean, I had him on a fantasy team, and he dropped off.
I wasn't high. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't high on Claypool anyway. I was never high on Claypool, especially when I look at the kind of production he had with Pittsburgh. Like, he just didn't stand out that much to me.
Well, I'll go back to back. I'll go back to back with you on this, Mike. I like Chase Claypool as a number 3 wide receiver a lot better than I like him as a number 2 or a number 1 wide receiver. DJ Moore completely changes the complexion of that wide receiver room, putting Mooney into. There's not pressure of Claypool to be the man. So I don't know. I mean, he can, pull back the reins a little bit on that. So I don't think Packer fans saying anything bad about Moore either. I think it's our thing is we don't think Justin Fields. That's in a wide receiver quarterback, you got to be able to get the ball to the wide receiver, and I understand Moore's had bad quarterbacks and he's made it, but
I just, Justin pulls it down and runs. That's not throwing the ball.
Fields hasn't really had that number one receiver. When they switched Mooney to the number one receiver, I said right then and there, that's going to hurt Mooney. He is not a number one receiver. That's like moving Devin Hester to a wide receiver. He wanted that wide receiver money, but he was not a wide receiver. He was a return man. You're taking the man out of his position to play somewhere else. Obviously, that didn't pan out, and they see it. Move him to the number two or even the slot, and that's where he's going to be more dangerous at. You move, you know what I mean? It's like moving a number three receiver into a number one and think he's going to do it. No.
We're going to get him back yet? Are we going to get you back yet? No? Oh. There we go. Are you there? Are you there, Mike? Mike, are you there? Okay.
I can hear him.
I'm clean. I don't see any stutter or nothing. Do I stutter?
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's. I mean, I'm leaning in, but
am I stuttering, everybody?
No, you're good. I heard you.
Good.
All right.
Okay, I'll shut up then.
Damn Lion fans always butting in.
No, you're good.
Oh man, but no, I really like the wide receiver room. We changed the dynamic. We talked about this a little bit earlier, like before the end of the season last year. It's like all that the Bears really needed was to drop an alpha right in the middle of that wide receiver room, and then all of a sudden you move those guys down one piece on a depth chart, and 2-3 is Mooney and Claypool doesn't look as bad as a 1-2 Mooney Claypool. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Right. I personally don't think our offense will be the problem. I think our defense is going to be more the problem. We got good defensive backs and linebackers, but man, our defensive ends are horrific. Your backups would be our starters. That's how bad it is. I think our best player on defensive end ranks at like a 111 and 114 overall. That's terrible.
So we got Michael in the comments right here that says Justin can't do shit if you stack the boxes and have Devondre Campbell or Quay Walker, and they'll spy on him. LOL. Lukeless monsters ready. All right. You don't think you're gonna do shit? Not with Hercules there, right?
We only got better on the pass rush. That's what I think.
Derek says Bears are locked for last place in the North. Packers, Vikings.
Hey, look, if the Bears double their wins, I mean, they still finished last, but, it's a much improved team. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to improve. Look, they got me wrong. I said they were going to win 4 games last year. They only won 3. I mean.
But Barry says, stop playing with us.
Stop playing with us.
I got you. That's right. Derek says Lions will repeat 5-1 and should go 6-0 in the division. That's pretty tough talk right there. But we got the hope. We got the hopium.
We're serving roasted lion on Thanksgiving. Serving roasted lion.
All right. Michael says, I've been hearing from Bear fan friends in the last 3 years. We rebuilt our O-line.
That's the Bears motto. It's a rebuild year. They just constantly every year. Rebuild year.
It wasn't every year, but sure. You're on that path.
No, we're not. We're good. We're good, man. You're about to see it Monday. I'm telling you, September 10th, official ceremony. Right there, Lambeau South.
I will say, if Jordan Love does not live up to the hype that Packers fans give him, we still could see what we have in Sean Clifford.
That's right. And there's
a guy that could also equally come in and just start throwing Hail Marys left, right, and center and hitting straight dots.
Well, Sean Clifford is definitely a different beast than Jordan Love is. Sean Clifford is your statue, pocket QB, so it's a little bit different of a style right there, but pocket QBs are fine. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a pocket QB.
Yeah, he's a pure pocket passer.
I mean, that's what I've always. I mean,
that's what when we drafted him. That was my one worry, because if you see the Packer offense, the way it moves around, and it's so much motion going on. I don't know how good a pocket passer, is going to do but we'll see. They maybe have to tweak. LaFleur is a genius. He's a genius,
Like,
man.
Yeah,
Like,
it remains to be
maybe-
seen with Love. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Love. We kind of know what we have.
I like to think when you have a pure pocket passer, the best asset for him is to be a game manager, like what Tom Brady was during the time when he was with the Patriots. Like even Brady was a pure pocket passer, but he did well upon game management.
Yep. And you know what Brady was really good at was moving within the pocket. Like he may not have been the fastest dude in the world, but you know, him sliding up while, you know, a lineman pushes a guy back and stepping to the side, just a little movements in the pocket. He was a master at that stuff and being able to still get the ball out and get it to a guy that can do some stuff. And that's what you really got to do. That's what Justin Fields needs. He needs to have trust in his playmakers when he escapes the pocket that, you know, don't take a 10-yard run, dump it off to DJ Moore or Claypool and let your receivers do the job.
Is he trying to do too much, or is he? I mean, your job is to manage the team. I mean, if the play breaks down, maybe you have to do something else. But I think he just gives up and then he thinks he's got to do it himself.
The Bears wide receivers had the worst route running last year for the most part. So, I mean, if somebody can't get open, you can't throw the ball. So, yeah, it was a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He'd be like, fuck it, I'm just going to take off running. And half the time he'd run right by you or break a tackle.
But that's your franchise quarterback, you guys are saying. And if you get him killed running the ball, I mean, throw it away. So what? I mean,
I think that changes this year. Like I said, they went out and got Davis from Tennessee, which was, you know, a top 15 lineman. Jenkins played real well. He was third overall at the guard position. You may want to knock Jenkins, but if he stays healthy, he plays well. And then they got Wright out of, you know, the first pick of the draft, which if you go look at his game films, he played very well, especially against the top two defensive guys that came out in college. So if he could play up to his height, that definitely helps out the offensive line 100%.
So how long is your leash, Mike the Bear fan? Are you giving him this year? Are you letting him finish out the contract?
Well, they got a lot of help. I'm going to say this year is his make it or break it year. If he has a highlight season, he'll stick around. If not, they're going to let him go. We got 2 first-rounders next year plus $100 million. So regardless, we're going to eventually get a goddamn quarterback, hopefully.
Hey, man, how come you guys been around so long and ain't found one yet?
Hey, we breed linebackers, but we cannot find a 4,000K quarterback. It sucks. It really does.
Facts, man. It's fact. You guys.
Hey, I was going to say, if anything that may help for Fields, he's got Fields, the connection that he had with his tight end Cole Kmet last season.
Yep.
One's gonna have to see, can he make that same kind of connection with DJ Moore as far as build a certain chemistry with the receivers you got out there, you'll be fine.
Well, they have been working together. I don't know if you guys see, but they've been traveling, playing together, practicing together. So he's been, what I've seen, he's got more improvement this year than last year for sure. Last couple, from what I've seen.
You know, I love the fact that we are on this show right now and we're talking about the positive outlook of what a Bear fan could go through. And even from the Packer fans, everybody's kind of looking at their team in an optimistic way because not everybody's going to look at it from the troll way. Oh, Justin Fields can't throw. I've seen him break the pocket and not throw it to a wide open guy before because he would rather run the ball. He just needs to get better at the decision making, but he doesn't have to be that good of a thrower. He just has to be able to manipulate the people to bend to his will. I want to play. If you come up, I'm dumping it. If you cover the guy, I'm running. Like, you need to learn how to do that. Rodgers was really good at that. Rodgers will hold on to the ball for the last second, right up until the line of scrimmage. You don't know if he's going to throw it or run it. Yeah. Fields tuck the ball and run 10 yards in the backfield, and you know he's going to run. He tucks it like a running back.
You know what? Now that you mentioned Rodgers, that almost reminds me to think that Justin Fields might have developed that same kind of habit from Rodgers, like holding on to the ball in the pocket longer than he's supposed to. Because there have been times I watched Justin Fields Fields in the pocket and he holds that ball a lot longer than normal quarterbacks would.
Rodgers is the king of throwaway passes.
But you have to be able to manipulate the defense with what you're doing. Is what the ones that know how to play that off. Okay, I could get 10 yards, but I think DJ Moore could get me a touchdown. Like, don't take the 15-yard run or the 10-yard run.
And not only that, but instead of taking a hit, why not just throw it away? You run it as far as you can, Fields, and then throw it away. Step out of bounds. Don't take the hits. Don't try to get that extra yards. You're not the running back.
But
you're not the guy that's supposed to be beaten up.
Third year. I mean, we are being hard on this guy, but a lot of quarterbacks, they get thrown to the wolves. And I was on record last year saying, if you don't get this kid some help, you're going to get him killed by week 4. And it's the same thing with this year. If he doesn't get the protection or he decides to keep running the way he is, you're going to find out what PJ Walker looks like behind your center.
That's right.
He's going to be dead by week 5, 6 if he runs
week 1. Like that.
True, but if you go look at his stats, every year he did get better. It's not like he just had a shit. Don't get me wrong. He did.
You're supposed to get better.
Turn over the ball a little too much, but when you're running for your life, it's going to happen. But I agree with you 100%. He's got to learn to throw it away. Don't take that big hit. You know what I mean? Well, from his first year, from his second and third, he started, running out of bounds or doing the quarterback slide because he was getting pulverized the first couple years. Like, he takes some hits like you didn't even think he was going to get up, and he popped up. Like, don't take that hit.
So, but now I want to change this over to the Packers here because I just thought of a really cool idea in my head, the chicken or the egg argument right here. I think that's where the Packers are. Is it the chicken or the egg? Is it LaFleur? Or is it Rodgers? Is it Barry? Or is it Gutekunst? Because you don't know the answers to those questions, even though you think you do. But you will find out, like, if Rodgers goes to the Jets and kills it, and then all of a sudden Jordan Love busts out, everyone's going to go, well, LaFleur's an idiot. They should have listened to Rodgers. If the defense doesn't ball out, and all those first-round picks, they're going to say, well, okay, Gutekunst gave you all the talent, but Joe Barry sucks. If the defense does really, really well, then, okay, well, now Joe Barry's the man, right? Is it the chicken or is it the egg? Oh, there it is. So we'll let you start with that, Rob. You're chomping.
Look, Barry's on my thin ice anyway, man. If he's not showing that the defense is a top 10 defense in the first 4 to 5 weeks, then it's a bust for me, and he's gone. Honestly, Goody's done good by his drafts. I'm sorry, we got 8 first-rounders on the defense, man. I mean, you got to do something with that. I mean, that right there, we should have a top 3 defense. The way we finished 21 against the Niners, I mean, and as far as Rodgers and LaFleur, look, I honestly believe that Rodgers changed the play a lot. LaFleur had a lot of confidence in him. He let him run it. You're out there reading it. He trusted that. Who else is better to read a defense than Aaron Rodgers? But this year, it's LaFleur. He's going to hand feed everything to Love. Love is going to do exactly what he's told to do. And we're going to see the true genius behind LaFleur this season. You watch.
Or you're going to see the true man exposed because Aaron Rodgers carried his ass for.
That's right. Well, you're right about that.
A decade.
And I will fully eat that crow when it comes.
And that's what I love to do on this show. I don't like the wishy-washy takes. I want people to put themselves out there. Let's do it. I love that. How about you, A-Dub? How are you feeling on that? Chicken or the egg?
When it comes to the floor, like one says, we're going to see the full extent of how well he coaches with his own. Like I said before, you don't have Aaron Rodgers taking over everything. Like when it comes to how this offense operates, it's going to be all the floor when it comes to his play calling and his coaching. Like you ain't going to see Jordan Love make no alternates or audibles out there. They're just going to do everything you ask of him. And then when it comes to the but then with Joe Barry, Goot did everything he could to give you the talent that you would need to create a defense that should be able to compete with just about anybody. So rather this year, you need to at least have a defense that is head and shoulders above many as far as the top 10 unit that can actually we not only carry this team, but put our offense in a better position to win games. So it's a prove-it year for a lot of guys right now.
Right. How about you, Evan? I mean, chicken or the egg? Do you like that? Do you like that argument on my end here?
It's an interesting argument to think about. If I'd have to go with more of a flaw, it'd have to be the defense last year not stepping up. It really comes down to the egg at this point. Just the foundation, the defense was not doing very many turnovers at the start. We were losing very individual games. When the offense slacks, the defense should be able to pick up, and vice versa. Right. And the defense did not pick up anything up until after the bye. Then it started to really show.
But that's a good thing, though. Like, if you're looking at your team from progression, you would rather your team pick up at the end of the year and then maintain that than to be really good at the beginning of the year and then fall off. You know what I'm saying? But that's an interesting thing. I'm going to see if we got anything's in the comments right here. Oh, man. Let's see.
But this is the first year we're actually going to see LaFleur's play calling. You know what I mean? Because like you guys said, Rodgers always changed it. I always said everybody has a role. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, Rodgers thought he was not just the quarterback, but he was the coach. He was the GM. He wanted to say so on a lot of things. You know what I mean? So we're going to see if actually LaFleur's offense is good or not.
So you got Brian Love in the comments that backs up your comment about Jenkins right there. He is the PFF's third highest graded guard. Is that true?
Yes, it is. I said it when I was doing my little spiel on my little.
Yeah. I didn't know that was actually the third rated. I mean, he was nasty. I remember doing a little bit of research on him when he came out of college. They said he was a nasty run blocker. He got Tunyon now. Ugh, LOL. Robert Tunyon.
Yeah, Jenkins is real good, but I don't know if you guys remember, but we drafted him when he was injured. He really didn't play a whole lot the first year. He was injured. He still was continued to be injured. This is the year to see if he can actually be healthy, because if he can't be healthy, I don't think they're going to keep him around.
I like this look, man. Doesn't he wear like glasses like Major League, like he's the wild thing? Like he comes at you, but he's like the meanest dude that you ever met. Like, all right. Anyway, okay, maybe I'm too old. I'm throwing out my age right there. What wild thing? Major League?
Oh yeah, they don't know. Yeah. It's a reach. It's Charlie Team.
I think Storytime and Quadzilla, Showtime and Quadzilla.
Yeah, talking about the Packers running backs, Jones and Dillon. Okay.
Best they running back.
Jones is Showtime and Quadzilla's Dillon.
Hey. I mean, you guys got that's a best protection for a running or a quarterback that you're trying to get acclimated.
We got a great third running back too, man. Good thing he's going to be great, man. He's just not going to get no time, but he's going to be a nice spell.
I think it's going to be a great running back battle in the North this year because, I mean, as much as everybody makes fun of the Lions for taking Gibbs at 12, the dude can ball. And, you know, Montgomery was a good pickup there. I think the Lions will be just fine as far as rushing the football. Their offensive line can run. The Bears brought in a couple people.
I'm saying everybody in this division is better off with the run by committee routine.
Right.
Well, that's the consensus through the NFL. That's how you get your backs to last all year, you know.
Well, just so you know, you can tell your Green Bay Packer coaches this, but the Lions are lining up Jahmyr Gibbs in the slot as they're putting him in wide receiver positions more than they are running him the football. So anybody that thinks that the Lions just grabbed a guy so they can run him 20 times, the guy probably won't even get maybe 5-10 carries in a game. The dude is going to be a pass threat. He's going to be targeted probably 10 to 15 times in the short passing game. That's how they're going to use Gibbs.
That's on the that's hoping that Montgomery does his weight and he's your bell cow, right?
Yeah, but I mean he's been a 20 carry plus a game.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not saying that. I don't think his durability is a question.
They brought Montgomery here to beat the shit out of him while we don't get our Lambo dirty.
Right.
All right. Monty Frank, I think he had bring on Jim Leonard, Arian West. Is that a personal thing? You want to bring him on here and roast him? You're gonna have a linebacker cover wide receiver. Utah. Okay, I look like I'm in the middle of a conversation here. Let's see. Detroit Lions got the best player in the NFC North, Ben Johnson. Urel, just so you know, Ben Johnson is a offensive coordinator. He's not a player, but he is the best offensive coordinator in the North. I do believe that. Guy turned down head coaching jobs this offseason.
Why?
He has a grade of 80.7 because he thinks he can win a Super Bowl in Detroit. He likes the offense that he's built here in Detroit.
I mean, I'm all for it if he wants to see it through. I mean, but if it doesn't work out, he passed on a head coaching job. That sucks. You got to take those when opportunities are given. You got to take those, man.
Correction. He says Detroit Lions got the best play call in NFC North. Yeah. I mean, he went in the last offseason and he sat down with Jared Goff and they both wrote the offense together. So I think it's almost a fear thing for him too, because if he went and took a head coaching job somewhere, he no longer has Jared Goff. He no longer has the resources that he had that made him a successul offensive coordinator.
What team offered him a job?
Arizona and Carolina, both.
So they got a lot of talent.
Not as much as Detroit. Detroit loaded up. I mean, when you got a general manager that, I mean, he literally has all of his draft picks from his first campaign are still with the team. Last year, the only one that wasn't with the team was Levi Onwuzurike, and that's just because of an injury. And it's like he has a pretty good track record. I've never even seen a GM have the hit rate that he's had. Now, I know that we're only going into the third year. Some of these guys might fall off this year. I understand. I don't want to be a complete homer, but the chances are good. Some of these guys have a 2-year track record of being pretty good. Penei Sewell looks like an all-pro. He doesn't look like anything's going to stop him from being an all-pro left tackle or a right tackle wherever he plays this year. You know, you look at Aiden Hutchinson, he looked like he was as advertised. So it's like Lions got a talented roster, and we got a couple free agents that came here for less money. I've never even heard of that in the Lions. I've been following this team since as long as I can remember, and I've never heard of like guys taking pay cuts and, oh, I want to go here to win. What? You coming to where? To Detroit to win? Okay. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
It's definitely a good season for you guys. And look, man, I've been around a long time watching it. I've seen talented Detroit Lion teams and years I thought you guys might actually step back up. So, I mean, and you didn't. So we'll see. I'm just going to hold. I'm not saying you won't. I think you guys are going to be contenders. I think it's going to be us and you banging at it for the division.
It's a weird thing because of how we're strong. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Like, I felt Detroit was trending upwards to where they could be every bit a bigger rivalry to us than what the Bears and Vikings were.
Yeah, they don't feel like they're building a team that is just competing for the North. Like, it feels like it's bigger than that. Like, I when they brought in Cameron Sutton, I was like, okay, that's a good offseason, right? We got a nice, good cornerback to replace, and I would have been fine being there. And then they go get Mosley, and then they top it off by going to get Gardner Johnson. And it's like they keep doubling down, tripling down, and it's like, wow, they're loading this roster. There is no excuse for our defense. Same thing. Aaron Glenn is in the same spot as Joe Barry. You don't have the excuse of no talent no more, bro. You got to produce a top 15 defense,
yeah.
or you're in question. You're in question.
Yeah,
man.
I did say before the secondary was a weak spot for Detroit. I felt like they addressed it pretty well when it came to the free agency.
They addressed the shit out of it. Like Mosley, Sutton, and Gardner Johnson, and they drafted Brian Branch in the second round. I mean, double, triple down, quadruple down. It's like, yeah, that's how you revamp the secondary. Get rid of all them 32nd ranked bitches and bring in a new crew dudes.
Yeah, but there's still an adjustment period. I mean, most teams, you got to get out there. I mean, it don't matter how much you're beat, into training camp and everything else. I mean, until you get against an opponent and you're really going full speed and you're really going into it, it takes 4 to 5 weeks to get, where you're going to be.
That depends. That depends on, like, they completely readdress the unit, and you bring in guy like Gardner Johnson is an elite player. So he's going to come in specific skill set. He's actually worked with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn drafted him in the New Orleans Saints. So there's still familiarity with the schemes and everything like that. Cameron Sutton he may not have been the most talented guy coming out of the free agency, but he was definitely the smartest guy. He is one of the smartest players in the NFL. He probably will be an NFL coach at some point in time. And that's the types of things that the Lions value in that. And Mosley's more of just kind of a smack talking, like just a baller kind of guy.
You need those kind of guys, though, man, to talk that shit.
Him and Gardner Johnson are going to be fun to watch them, because our pass rush, all of our young pass rushers, we're bringing all them guys back. We're deep in pass rushing. They're going to be coming at all the teams this year.
So they really said Hard Knocks is going to go back to Detroit after next year?
Yep. And they don't care about the winning thing. Like they
don't care if they win or lose, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I got it.
It used to just be only losing teams would be on there, but
this could be Rodgers' last year as a quarterback. I guarantee you that's why they're in New York for this.
And they're chomping at the bit for some more sound bites from Dan Campbell. They're like, I don't give a shit where these guys finish.
Yeah,
I want to try to be like,
You've had enough of that shit.
Yeah,
it was more like a reality show this last season.
But I mean, it was really cool, like from a fan perspective, from being a Lion fan and just getting to see the insides of the training camp, watching guys duke it out and really fight to try to get on the roster. God, it was just a really cool thing. I thought it was the best production of Hard Knocks that they've ever done, but it mostly just because Dan Campbell's he's a walking soundbite. Like
every year my wife watches Hard Knocks with me, and every year she's like, oh, that's such a good team. She falls in love with the damn team because you get behind the scenes and I'm like, hey, you cannot say that about the Lions.
Oh man, so Monty is asking, where is this Hard Knocks on Paramount? Is that where it airs? I don't know.
HBO, Hard Knocks, HBO.
Oh, yeah, come on, Monty.
It's HBO, man. Come on.
Me with that question. Whoa. Yes, it's HBO Hard Knocks. They may actually air it on Paramount too.
They air it on others. Yeah, no, Paramount's been airing other stuff, but it's from HBO. It's Hard Knocks. NFL Network shows it.
Well, I have been digging this whole thing today. I am gonna I'm kind of up against it here, but it's for an hour show that we did for an hour and 40 minutes. I absolutely love that we never really dropped below 15 people that are watching. I appreciate the fact that there are so many avid football fans that want to talk football.
It's a good show, man. I listen to you all the time. Listen to you all the time, man. Good show.
It's July, guys, and that's how crazy we are. That's how crazy we are. We're getting another Bear fan in here?
What?
Oh, we're getting another Mike the Bear fan in here. Oh, okay. Yeah, you had me going. I thought there was actually 2 Bear fans in the world.
No, I got to the studio, so
yeah, he's not driving no more.
Well, I was just about ready to sign the show off. I mean, for an hour-long show going an hour and 40 minutes, I thought that, I was just thanking everybody. We got 17 people that are watching right now. We've never really dropped below that. We appreciate you, because if you're watching right now, you are a hardcore football fan. We don't give a shit about baseball. We don't give a shit about basketball or croquet or whatever the hell else you're playing out there. We're football 365 days a year. NFC North talk. That's Mike the Bear fan right there. If you're a Bear fan, you need to go follow him. If you want to be a Packer fan, you want to be a Packerhead, Bill the Packer fan is the guy you got to follow, or the Frozen Tundra Network. Yes, if you're a Viking fan, then and if you're a Lion fan, you can go ahead and you can follow the Detroit Lion Villain Squad. You can subscribe to the YouTube channels. We appreciate everybody for being part of our broadcast today. So from Russell Wayne, Mike the Bear fan, and a slew of awesome Packer heads.
Go Pack, go!
Go Pack, go!
Main event 365. One pride.